Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
So, big weather story this morning, actually yesterday too, was Patricia along with the Texas flooding. So, two separate storm systems. Now, late yesterday, Patricia made landfall as a very powerful Category 5 storm. It has already been downgraded to a tropical storm this morning and is rapidly weakening. So, we do want to focus on the Texas flooding, and then we'll take it back to Patricia and show you where that stands right now. So, here's the current radar we have going through right now in the south central area. We'll stop this for you, bring it back. You can see here on the loop, we've had some incredibly heavy rainfall here just to the south and southeast of Dallas. In fact, there's a small area about 60 miles south and east of Dallas that's seen a town called Corsicana. They've recorded more than 18 inches of rain in just the past 30 hours. And in the areas surrounding that, we've got a 12 to 15 inch to as much as 18 inches of rain. So we've had reports all night of high water rescues, just a situation going from bad to worse. The thing you can notice here on the radar that's interesting is the axis of heaviest rain has been from around Dallas to Waco. And what we're seeing happen during the course of the morning, and you can really see it here, is this heaviest shifting its way to the south and the southeast. So Austin, San Antonio, you can see where the highest reflectivity is there. It's going to continue moving that way. So we're actually looking at this threat for flooding, actually transitioning a little bit farther to the southeast. And unfortunately, that includes places like Corpus Christi to Houston, Galveston, and then eventually making its way along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. We've got some moisture from what was Patricia. We've got moisture coming in off of the Gulf. Rainfall totals here, especially as we go back to the southeast, could be widespread over 4 inches, some locations seeing closer to 8, and just like we've already seen, unfortunately, some of those totals approaching a foot of rain. So we want to remind you to turn around, don't drown, never drive through a flooded roadway. It'll be worth the detour to take you a little bit of extra time to make sure you make it through there. Okay, so an update on Patricia.
Yes, someone said Patricia will weaken.
Yep, and here is our brand new update. Actually, this just came into us within the past minute or so.
Here on Patricia.
So tropical depression, so it has now lost tropical storm status as well. So sustained winds are 35 miles an hour. And if you were watching yesterday, we mentioned how it was going to make landfall as a very powerful storm system, but that the higher elevations and the loss of its energy source over the Pacific was just going to tear the storm system apart. And that's basically what's happening here. So winds down to 35 miles an hour, still producing some relatively heavy rain. And you notice that my icon hasn't switched over because it's still ingesting new information. This is the latest update from the Hurricane Center, likely coming in within about the last 2 minutes since I loaded this in. So Patricia completely falls apart today over parts of north central Mexico. Then we take you into what happens later on tomorrow. We're going to see moisture from what was Patricia, along with moisture from the Gulf of Mexico in this area of low pressure. And we're going to continue pumping in that moisture. So that just means more rain. And it's a combination of those factors too that will sink that flooding threat. You notice the difference, right? So now we're a little farther to the southeast as we go through Sunday into the Gulf Coast area of Texas, the Bend, and then into southern Louisiana. And we may even see this as we go into the early part of the week, stretching into parts of Mississippi, maybe even a little bit farther to the east. It will be breezy here, quite breezy. In fact, we could see winds gusting 40 to 50 miles an hour. And of course, we're talking about that heavy rainfall. So for anybody who's traveling through those areas in Texas hard hit, really, really, please heed those warnings. Take things slow. If you don't have to travel, please don't. If you're approaching a flooded area, you don't know how deep the water is. It only takes a foot of water to sweep away most cars and certainly most human beings off their feet. And in addition to that, if you're doing any traveling by air, please contact your carrier, look ahead, because there have been some pretty significant delays, and rightly so, because conditions just pretty dangerous out there. So unfortunately, the rain continues in Texas as we head through the rest of today.
Thanks so much for updating us on Periscope, Laura.
We'll see you later.
All right, thanks.